right, Cincinnati fans, welcome to week 5 of the Anchor Down Cincinnati podcast. We got very special guests here today. I'll dive into that in just a second, but want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Matthew Hausler with Matthews Mazes for designing the logo, working with me with merchandise. Hopefully we can get that posted up this week. We'll keep you updated on that. But also wanted to give a huge shout out to all the followers of the show. We reached well over 1,000 followers very quickly. So thank you. But this podcast is brought to you by Ernst & Associates and DUI Matt. And folks, never drink and drive. Facing a DUI charge may be one of the most frightening times of your life. Loss of your license, your job, and even your freedom are things you don't want to take lightly. Call DUI Matt of Ernst & Associates or visit www.igotadui.com for a free consultation where he can explain your rights and how he can help you. The show is also brought to you by Amrine Diamonds and Phil Amrine, who was actually on the podcast last week and actually absolutely knocked it out of the park. But wanted to give him this podcast is brought to you by Amrine Diamonds. If you're ever looking for any advice on jewelry, Phil Amrine can consult you in the right direction, show you what you need, and also has the best stuff in the business when it comes to jewelry. So feel free to reach out to him or visit his shop off of Coleraine Avenue. But folks, we got very special guests here today. We got John Phipps back, and he brought friends. And I actually have John here, and also we're doing it over the phone. But he brought his good friend John Connor with the Cincinnati Bengals back in 2012. We played for the Jets, the Giants, the Bengals. A local guy, and can't wait to introduce him. But right now we got John on the phone. John, you there?
Oh, yeah. I'm here. I'm back. More fun. It's a beautiful day. Let's get it.
Awesome. And then we got, again, NFL fullback for actually 5 years in the NFL. We got John Connor. John, you here?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Ready to go.
All right. Awesome. Well, Phipps, you got anything to say to all the fans from last time? I know we actually had a few people request you because of
because I'm awesome.
There you
They
go.
requested me because I'm awesome. Nah, man, I'm just happy to be back. And I told you, I love what you're doing here. I had to bring my guy, John Connor, because he's been ducking me for a while, so there's some bones I have to pick with him and some beefs to get into. Don't think I'm going to ever let.
We're in the same city, John. We're in the same city now.
All right, you keep that same energy, brother. We will figure all this shit out.
Let's go.
And John Connor, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I mean, I know we got the nickname the Terminator. We can call you that as well. But you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, you can just call me John, man. Local guy. Dakota West grad, drafted to the New York Jets back in 2010. Graduated from the University of Kentucky. So.
Awesome, good deal. So really, I mean, you're a Cincinnati guy. You went to Dakota West. Is there anything special about growing up in Cincinnati and becoming a professional athlete?
Absolutely. Just getting a chance to play for my hometown team, that was a blessing in itself.
That's awesome.
Growing up with your friends and just kind of just being a guy that they look up to, and then just setting an example for your community. That's been more of a blessing for me than anything.
Absolutely.
The community. Listen to this guy. I love it. He's such a good person.
Well, it's awesome to get, local people, and that's what this podcast is about, is getting people who are, from Cincinnati. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up here in 2020 just from, with what our new management's going on in Cincinnati with our teams and everything's looking up. So it's awesome to have one of our actually a former Bengal come on. So for those of you who are familiar with John Connor, he's like you say, he got drafted to the Jets, went to play for Cincinnati, went to play for the Giants. Now, John, playing in the NFL, I guess in a matter of a 1-minute summary, what do you got for me? We got so many people asking, what is it like to be in the NFL, coming from Cincinnati? What's the excitement there?
Well, getting drafted, man, it's a childhood dream, and when I heard my name getting called, like, it's all that hard work, it's like it all paid off.
It's awesome, man.
when I think about the NFL, like I think about how much of a business it is. Like people don't really see, the business side of things. Don't get me wrong, Sundays are amazing and it's awesome. Like I can't explain just the feeling you get running out to that field on Sundays. But NFL is definitely a business, man. It's like it's guys' livelihoods. Like a lot of guys, like they put all of their efforts into just raising their family and just, making a living for their family. But guys get cut, guys get injured, guys get traded, and that's kind of the rough part about the league that people don't see.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that goes beyond the curtain, and I can't imagine what those hardships are like. But now your draft story. Do you have it? How did you get drafted? So like, were you sitting with your mom and dad, or what was going on there?
Yeah, so I was actually in Louisville. We were at a sports bar. My agent at the time had rented out. Just had my phone sitting on my lap the entire day. Just watching it on TV and just not really knowing when I was going to go. Because being a fullback, you really don't understand. Like you could go early, you can go later. It just depends on the need at the time and the demand for fullbacks. And as you know, like the fullback's a dying breed. But I thought that I put enough film out there on tape that I could get drafted. Potentially kind of earlier than later. But at the same time, you have to be prepared to go later, and or maybe potentially be a free agent.
So they call your name. They say, all right, well, they pick John Connor. What's going through your mind?
Well, I was actually drafted by the New York Jets, but
I'll bet the Jets, my man.
When I visited the Bengals, after I've been in the league for a while, they said they were going to draft me, but the Jets jumped up and drafted me first. So
yeah.
But yeah, when I got that call, man, it was just like I can still remember it like it was yesterday. Just the excitement that went through me. Like I even burst out in tears. I'm not even gonna lie, I cried a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
I like it. Real tears.
I don't know how you won it, man. That's so exciting. But
yeah, man, like just reaching those dreams that you worked hard for there's no better feeling than that.
It's awesome.
Now, John, I want to step in for a second. You play football, and you play a position in football that you kind of said like a dying breed. And my question for you is, like, you're one of the top fullbacks of the last 20 years in the NFL, one of the top, fullbacks in the SEC of all time. Like, what does it feel like when you're, it's a very selfless position. You're going out and blocking for people. You're creating those holes. You're blowing people up on wedges. But you don't always get, like, that love. I mean, granted, Rex Ryan loved you to death. But, it's like your name's not in the papers. So tell me, a little bit about your mentality of just how you stay focused to continually kill people and know you're not always going to get the credit for that.
That's a great question, John. Honestly, as a fullback, man, you gotta love what you do, man. Like, it's not a glorified position. Like I like to call it, you're like more of a glorified offensive lineman. You might get a few carries, you might get to touch the ball a little bit, score a few touchdowns, but at the end of the day, man, like you got to go out there and do the dirty work that nobody else wants to do, and that's
right.
What it takes, man. Like, not everybody wants to be a fullback. I've talked to plenty of people. Like, they ask me, why do you go in there and put your head in there like that? How do you keep doing that? But it's like, you gotta be somewhat crazy to do that, and I get it. So,
and it's crazy because you're so, like, I'm not going to call you soft because you kill people, but, like, you're, like, a super laid-back dude, very nice. Like, I used to go to church with you on Sundays. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're that type of dude. But when you put those pads on, you put the helmet on.
Look at what he did to the guy from the Panthers. Jesus, dude. So I gotta ask you, man. I mean, I watched that video over and over again, and that dude got freaking lifted. What? So there's a kickoff, right? And they're coming down, and he.
Yeah, listen in the background. They have a play for him. First of all, don't forget that. Like, they have a play that's like Terminator right, Terminator left, and it's set up for you to just kill people. So how did that play come about in practice? And then let's walk through that night, like on how we got to that point.
All right, John. First of all, don't get it twisted, man. It ain't a soft bone in my body, okay? When I'm on that field, it's a different story, man. Off the field, like you said, we went to church together. I got God in me. That's what's helping me not being crazy. But when I'm on that football field, man, it's a different story. So
for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Now with the Terminator right, Terminator left. Yeah, like, when was Rex Ryan like, we need to play every day where he just kills somebody?
Oh yeah, that's the kind of guy Rex is. Like, he's the kind of coach that, like, you ready to run through a brick wall for him. He's the type of coach, he might go out there and strap on his cleats and his helmet with you. So he wants to set the tone early, and like any team that we played against was the enemy. So that's kind of how he.
That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. So let's say that play, you're running down the field and you see somebody, and do you know that you're going to be on a highlight reel, like right when you were running down the field and you see somebody coming down, and right when you lit them up, were you like, oh my God, like, what are you thinking? Are you like, man, I just lit that dude up, or what's going on?
Man, honestly, like, yeah, in a way, but, like, honestly, like, that's just what I do. Like, I didn't think it was going to get as big as it did, but it's funny that, I came, like, after the game, looking at highlights and watching the Hard Knocks, I'm like, wow, like, I really hit that dude pretty hard. But I can honestly think of even, like, many more hits that I've had that were probably worse than that, but they didn't really get seen, like, in practice, I've had some crazy hits like that.
So I listened to a video, and it was just Rex Ryan just hyping you up, calling you like, should we put the Terminator on him? What was it like working? What was it like working for Rex Ryan?
Oh, it was awesome, man. Players coach. He was all for the players, and sometimes he got a bad rep for some of his things he did or talked about. But I mean, you can ask any player that played for him. Like, everybody loved him. Everybody loved playing for him. Like, I don't care if we had a losing record. Like, there's no other coach that honestly I would want to play for. So
that's awesome.
That's kind of how it was. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we can fast forward, I guess, to your time in Cincinnati in 2012. So can you expand on that maybe a little bit and just tell about your time in Cincinnati?
Yeah, so coming back to Cincinnati was great because I got to be home and like got to play in front of the people that couldn't always see me play live. So that was great. Cincinnati, it was fun, but also it had its rough times. There were some things that went down that I didn't quite agree with, but that's life though. That's life. That's kind of things you got to work through. But
I didn't agree either.
Yeah.
That was terrible, bro.
Marvin Lewis, great guy, man, great coach. So like nothing really bad to say a ton about the organization, but
yeah,
it wasn't how I wanted things to go. But it's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah,
I'll say it for you. We didn't use you right. For real, man. Like, we went and got a fullback, but we were in that in between stage where I think they tried to convert Orson Charles, like a tight end. I think it was around the time we had Hewitt as well. They just weren't true fullbacks, but our offense wasn't potent either. And it's like, you have a weapon, you're the weapon. Let your battering ram go kill people and run the ball behind him. And we let a lot of single back sets and trying to get you in the flats. Like, that's not you. You're like an I-form, weak eye, just pick a linebacker, pick a hole, and let me kill this man. And we just didn't use you right, bro.
Well, you got a guy. You got to think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to think. You got to think. You got an All-American college athlete coming in. I mean, young. Why it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't use you the right way.
Yeah, I mean, that was tough, man. Because like when I look at myself, like just my film over the years, like I can do those things. I can catch the ball out of the backfield. I can get the short yardage. The only thing that's really been highlighted in my career is the way I hit people, but a lot of times, like, I can run the football as well. I can actually catch the ball.
You were running back in high school. Like, people forget, man.
Be AJ Green and like go into the slot or anything like that, but I can catch the ball out the backfield.
For sure.
Did you ever make, like, I guess, buddies with anybody on the Bengals, like any AJ or playing behind Andy? I mean, were there any cool encounters that you had with any of those players?
Oh, you say Andy Dalton. Like, Andy Dalton's a stand-up guy. I'm sad things didn't go well for him while he was out here, but I think he had some great moments out here. He's definitely a great guy, great human being.
Yeah.
All the running backs I had a chance to play with. It was a lot of great guys in that facility, man. Like, I can't really think of some guys that I didn't get along with, but most of that that organization, like the guys on the team were just great guys.
Yeah, I can. It sounds like it. I mean, and like you said, Andy is a stand-up guy. I bet you it was a lot of fun to be, playing behind him. A lot of people, I listened to, who was it? It was a video with Giovanni Bernard, and he was like, playing behind Andy Dalton, you don't realize how smart the guy is.
Yeah.
Like, is that pretty accurate?
Oh yeah, Giovanni, another great guy, like that I really got kind of close with, and we talked a lot. But yeah, man, like he is, man. Like people don't see him like calling extra meetings after practice or extra, route running sessions. Like we were there earlier than everybody else running routes, and just getting ready for the practice, going through the script, like what we're gonna do in practice.
Yeah,
but people don't see that. Sometimes. There are other factors that go into, you not looking as well on the field. But like all I can say is he did his part and tried to make himself a better player, make everybody else better.
I just think it's so cool that he got to play with these players, just because like growing up, the past few years and past decade in Bengals history, it's like you look up to these guys. So I just think it's so cool that you got to play in Cincinnati. You're from Cincinnati, local guy. I just find that to be one of the coolest things. But
John, I have a question. Was there ever an instance, I know you're a pros pro and a laid-back guy. Is there ever an instance where you were starstruck in the NFL, where you're just like, oh, Lord, that's, Jim Brown, or, oh, my God, that's, Tom Brady. And granted, I hate Tom Brady because he's on the other team, but was there any moment in your career where you're just like, damn, like, this is big?
That's a great question, John. I get that a ton, man. Like, people ask me that all the time. Honestly, I'm not the type of guy that really, like, gets starstruck like that, but one person that, that I really looked up to, that I got to play with and, like, block for, Hall of Famer, LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, I go in my rookie year, I'm sitting, my chair is right next to LaDainian Tomlinson, and I'm like, wow, bro, like, I used to play with you on Madden. Like, I watched you in college, like, and like future Hall of Famers, like that was a huge like blessing for me to be able to play with him and block for him. But like there's a ton of players that can easily fill in that for me, that I played against. So
yeah, that's so cool. That's pretty awesome. But I was actually diving into some of your statistics and everything, and I just find it to be so cool that you actually had 2 NFL touchdowns, right?
3 actually.
Three NFL touchdowns.
3. Don't short my man.
No, someone got it wrong.
Get all we can get. We fullbacks, man. We can't cut it short now.
Someone cut you short on the list or on the stat sheet. But scored an NFL touchdown. I actually had a few people like actually message me and just say, "Hey, what was it like?" I ask what it's like to just score an NFL touchdown. What was that feeling like?
Man, it's like Christmas, man. Like. It's one of those things you dream about as a kid, and like when it actually happens, it's no better feeling. And I can't really explain the feeling because you got to like go through it to feel it. But especially being a fullback, man, we don't get too much love, man. And like when you actually get some love, you got to make sure you hold on to the ball. You got to make sure you catch the ball, because if you drop that ball, it's not coming back your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it's a great feeling. Like I don't know how to really explain it.
Did you save the ball? Please tell me you saved the ball.
Oh yeah, they're here at the house.
My God, that's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you do a celebration?
He doesn't dance.
No, he doesn't. I dance a little bit, John. Don't get me wrong. I dance a little bit, man. Hey, but when I score a touchdown, man, I like to act like I've been there before. I might do a little something, but I'm not, the guy to have all these huge celebrations. Dunking through the goalposts and all that type of stuff. So.
Absolutely, that's awesome, man.
You can't dunk.
Bro, wow, John. Like,
I'm sorry.
We just have to race first.
My God, please look. You've been ducking this 40 for like 15 years. I feel great right now. It's marvelous out.
We're in the same city now. There's no excuses.
All right, we're gonna take this for the listeners.
Yeah, we'll tape it. We'll put it on. We'll blast that on the page.
It does. This goes back.
We'll blast that all over the page. But so I'm actually looking back here. So looking back at your UK career, obviously extremely successful. Like John said before, are, like Phipps said before, it's a one of the best fullbacks coming out of the SEC. What was it like playing in the SEC, by the way?
Well, the SEC, in my opinion, is the best conference there is. So, like, I feel like I got a head start on the NFL by playing in the SEC because most of those guys are going to play in the NFL after they're done playing in the SEC. So, I just think the competition level was so high. Just comparing that to like some of the other conferences like that I've played against, like there's nothing like just the game speed, just the football identity. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And going through, I can't imagine going through like Sunday, waking up and getting ready to get on the field. But like, is like waking up on Saturdays and knowing you got college game day, and you got, you're playing in a rival school in the SEC. Is that just as exciting?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I would probably say it might be a little bit more exciting. Like, there's nothing like playoff NFL football, but Saturdays in college football, like, it's a different kind of game. Like, you got the bands playing, you got, the students out there, and just the atmosphere is a little bit more crazy than, like, the NFL atmosphere.
That's awesome. No way. John, do you have a question?
Yeah, for sure. I got a couple real quick. I've watched a lot of film. I made it to pretty much every away game. Who's the hardest person you had to block in the SEC, like in college, getting ready for the league?
Man, that's a good question. Let's see here. I would probably say maybe a guy like Carlos Dunlap in Florida. I played against like Patrick Willard in Ole Miss. Man, it's a big list, man. Like I can't really name one.
Was there a person you ran into and you were like, "Holy shit"? I just like.
Honestly, a lot of times it's the other way around. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Hey, after looking at your highlights.
And that's perfect because I want to bring up the Arkansas game. So, for the listeners that don't know, I went to UK with John. My roommate played, and every now and then I go in there and watch football. Watch the film with him. And I think it was Arkansas, and it was 3 plays back to back. And I don't know if you remember this, John, but it's like you came through, you cut the dude. Next play, you come through, you act like you're going to cut him, and then you go straight to his face. And then the next play, you cut him again. And I don't think he played for the rest of the game. Please tell me you remember that. Or is that just another mark on the belt?
Hey, John, bro, I done had so many collisions, man. I'm having a hard time remembering that, but I believe you when you say it, though.
It's the funniest thing. I mean, it was 3 plays. It was like Joker Phillips. He got in one of those modes where he was just going to run draw. And they just let you kill the kid play after play after play. And Brandon Spikes is another. You took Brandon Spikes out of the game.
Yes. Man. Don't let me leave him out. Brandon Spikes was a tough dude. He was coming downhill every play.
Right. Play. He read run. That's it. Like he could not read pass.
He was downhill. Like no pass protection downhill.
That's freaking awesome.
That's another guy that brought it. I remember playing against him too.
That's freaking awesome. No, well, so when you were at, speaking of like playing against these players and like I know you said like Dunlap, Spikes obviously, but was there any other players that you ran into and you were like in college and you were like playing against them and you're like, man, this guy is NFL material, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, this dude is going to the NFL.
I mean, like we just said, like I think Brandon Spikes was a dude. Like Florida's entire defense, man. Like I'm like these guys are the real deal. Like from top to bottom, like their defensive line, their linebackers, their DBs. Like the time that I was at Kentucky, that 07, 08 team at Florida, like those guys, like we played those guys. So they were very physical, like very physical. Like LSU, pretty physical as well. So it's. I don't know if I can really point out a guy, but I mean, you say Brandon Spikes, like that was definitely a dude that's pretty tough.
And the crazy thing is, y'all were getting blown out. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but the LSU game, that was a bad score. The Florida game was a bad score, but you killed it. Like you won your matchup. So like, tell me about that. Like I know, like Kentucky is definitely will get you to the NFL, and it's a great school for that. But there's games you lost, but you still go out there, and it's like you don't miss a block. You kill somebody every play. So So what's your mentality for like those type instances? Like you kind of know you're going to take the loss, but I have to do what I need to do to make it to the next level.
Absolutely, John. Like I like to say I'm a team player, but at the end of the day, man, like I can't just be getting run over. Like you're gonna feel me on that field either way. It sucks, huh? But
No, you're good.
it sucks playing in Florida. What was that? 2008, I think we were out in Florida.
Yeah.
And they were just destroying us. Like playing in LSU back in 2006. Like
that was Jamarcus Russell.
This games like that was like, man, like at halftime, you like, man, all right, we might as well just
pack it up.
I'm like, hey, I'm out here, so I might as well, make the most out of it. Make the most of it while we're getting our bus money.
Yeah. I feel it, bro. And not only that, the Florida game, they blocked like 3 straight punts. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I remember like being next to Nance and punt protection. Like the commentary, like between him and then like Coach Ortmeyer, like it was just like it was terrible, man.
and just for the people out there, Florida had a really awesome punt block scheme where they would put like a D tackle, a linebacker behind them, and then it was either Will Dents, Jeff Dents, those little running backs. It was when they had those fast little running backs that were like all 4-3 dudes. So they'd have 2 big dudes run up and block you, and then the running back would dart behind you and block the punt, and they block it like literally at least 2, if not 3 straight punts. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it was terrible. It was not fun for us. Like that next day in film, bro. Like it was just straight silence and like players just getting ripped to pieces. Like it was.
Yeah, man. I can't imagine.
It's not a fun time to be a Wildcat.
I cannot imagine, man. Oh my God. Well, I do have another question from you from one of our followers here. Playing in a playoff game in the NFL, is there just a different vibe going on when you're playing a playoff game rather than a regular season, or like what's going on in your mind when you're going into one of those playoff games?
Oh yeah, like it's a huge difference. Like you look at like preseason, like you look at regular season, you look at playoffs. Like the game speed goes up a notch in every level. Preseason, I mean guys they're playing, but guys are more like I'm just gonna get my reps in. I'm gonna get off the field. Regular season, the intensity is high. It's like we're trying to get to the playoffs, but when you're actually in the playoffs, it's like the Super Bowl is on the line. Like it's one loss and you're out. So just the game speed, the intensity, like guys are fighting out there. It's a different type of energy.
Is there? So you played with the Jets, and within that, I guess, in that stadium, is the 12th man a real thing? I know the Jets fans are crazy, but does that help you out there? Like when you're out on the field and you hear the JETS, what's that like?
Yeah, you can hear that stuff before the play starts. So when it's actually going on, like when your adrenaline's running, you can't really hear that noise as much as you think you would. But like before we like enter the stadium or when we're on the sideline getting ready for like a kickoff, you hear that JETS, like that definitely gets you kind of hyped.
It gives me chills. Like thinking about it, I'm like, shit, that would be so freaking cool to at least experience. But man, that's awesome. But. So you're going back. Actually, you know what we didn't do, and we didn't actually touch base with this. How do you two actually? You guys know each other from UK, but how'd you guys both meet?
John's like he's pretty much like another player on the football team, but he wasn't. Like if you know football players, then you know John Phipps. Pretty much.
Phipps tells me all the time. Phipps says, "I'm like air, man. I'm everywhere, but I'm nowhere at the same time."
Hey man, for real, man. We had classes together. John didn't party, but every now and then I throw a house party and he'd come through. So I was everywhere. That was my guy. And we're Cincinnati, man. That's another thing. Like, Cincinnati just has a bond.
Yeah, man.
So when you get down to UK and it's like, wow, you're from back home. Like, oh, I went to Westchester. I went, Lakota West. I went to Roger Bacon, like that type thing. And we were just cool from kind of that day forward.
Yeah, man. That's
cool.
I think the Cincinnati guys like that went to UK. I think we all kind of have like a good relationship. We all kind of know who we are and kind of know each other. So that's definitely man, he's definitely right about that.
That's what it's about, man. And I mean, growing up in Cincinnati, you know, and following all these players, and actually like having an understanding about like your position and what you do, it actually gives kind of a whole new respect. So hopefully, if anything from our talk today, hopefully people just understand that, you know, show some respect on that fullback position. But just because I think you said it, like, I mean, you're a glorified O lineman, and I mean, if you're on the 1 yard line, I mean, you're kind of one of the main players on the field at that point. But yeah,
that's when I get excited, man. When it's like third and short, fourth and short, I'm like, yo, I might get the ball. You know? So that's when I really get excited.
So when they're on, let's say you're on the 1 yard line, or we'll talk about one of your touchdowns, and they're like, all right, we're giving JC the ball here. Are you like, what's going on in your mind when you're in the huddle? Are you like, oh shit, here we go, like, give me the ball?
Oh, I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited. Like, yeah, like, I mean, you've been blocking your butt off all game, and leave blocking and, you know, going in there, playing the toll on your body, then they finally give you some love. Like, it's not a better feeling than that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, for those of you out there, I actually asked John Connor if he was a Bengals fan, or what was he a fan of any team. This kind of goes to show you the kind of guy he is, down to earth. You know, he actually told me he's more of a players fan. So can you speak to that maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of guys that I play with that I got to know just through this, and just knowing like the type of people they are. And they're also good football players. Like that's why I like to follow those guys. I wouldn't call myself like a Bengals fan or like a Jets like super fan, but I do respect, you know, certain coaches that I've been around and certain players. So that's kind of my reasoning behind that.
That's awesome, man. Speaks volumes, but that's really all the questions I had for you. Phipps, you got anything?
What's up, Phipps? I know you got some more questions.
Oh yeah, for sure. Skyline or Gold Store?
Hey, so funny story, bro. I'm not a meat eater anymore. I'm a vegan now. So, but if I had to choose one, I'm going with Skyline.
That's my guy.
I almost lost a lot of respect for you there. I'm glad you saved it.
That's my
Oh
guy.
yeah, Skyline all day.
Graders or UDF?
Graders.
All right.
La Rosa's. So we're gonna do kind of a Portnoy thing here. If you follow Barstool, what's your let's give a rating on a 1 to 10 scale rating on La Rosa's.
I don't know, but he's a vegan now.
Ah, that's true, man.
He's about to backpedal out of this.
You said 10 being the best on the Roses?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to say, I'll say about a 7.
There you go. There you go.
I'm more of a Domino's kind of guy.
There it is.
That Brooklyn style. I feel it.
Oh yeah, I done had some of the best pieces like that you can ever have. You know, being in like New York City, but
Yeah.
like the Cincinnati chains, like I gotta say Domino's is probably like the one I would eat.
Dude, that's another thing. I actually I didn't ask you that yet. Like living in New York and being an NFL player in New York. Was that pretty sweet for you, or what was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. Like just going to a big city like that, coming from like Lexington, Kentucky. Like that, honestly, that was my first time really being in New York City and like really experiencing like the atmosphere and like the food, the nightlife, like all of that stuff was like new to me. So
That's awesome, man. Phipps.
Hold up. We can't wrap up. I gotta tell a story.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Tell a story.
Phipps, here, real quick. Hold up. Phipps has got a story. We got weekly story time with John Phipps. Phipps, let's hear it.
Yeah, bro. That's all right. So cool, bro. You don't even have to say anything. You just need to listen because you were there. So we're in college and we walk into physics class. And I don't know about y'all, but when you have a gen ed class, there's like 300, 400 people. You got to find people you know, and you got to start working on how you're going to pass. So I see John. I'm like, dang, I'm good. I see Mike Hartline. I'm like, I'm good. Let's get it. So our physics professor comes in, and he's like, I wrote the book. If you have any questions, you can call me at 4 a.m. I'll pick up the phone and teach you how to do this. And I'm like, bro, we're fucked. There's no way we're passing this class. So we're getting ready for our first test. And, when you're a D1 athlete, you have tutors, you have a support system that help you. So John's got his test guide, Heartline's got his test guide. John comes over, and we had an athletic trainer. I'm not going to say her name, but she comes over. She's teaching us physics. We're getting ready for this first test. In the middle of teaching us physics, I don't know if you remember this, John, but she starts telling us about when she was dating Peter Warwick. Now, John and I, yes, exactly.
Is that Peter Warwick?
Yes.
No.
So she's like a she was older than us, but she was telling us a story about when she was a freshman. So anyway, she's dating Peter Warwick. And me and John are confused, but we only had an hour to study for this test. Now she's going through her little love story. 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by. She's like, all right, I got to go. We have the test tomorrow. So we're fucked. We walk into the test. We sit down. It's 10 questions. There's one question on each page. Whole page to show your work. The very first question is like, if I shoot a cannonball off the side of a mountain, how long does it take until it hits the water? I look over at John and I'm like, bro, it's a wrap. We start taking this test. I'm putting in fake numbers and equations so it can look like I'm trying, so I can at least get a point for showing work. Fast forward, that test comes out a week later. They put our grade down. I swear to God, my Lord and Savior, baby Jesus on high. You add my score up, you add Mike Hartline's score up, you add John Connor's score up. We still didn't come close to passing that damn test.
Oh my God. No way. That's freaking great.
Those are facts. The only difference is both of them went to the NFL because John went to the Jets, and I think Hartline went to the Colts, and now he's with Ohio State. They made it to the league, and now I sell things.
So that test didn't matter for them no matter what.
Hey, praise God for the NFL, man. Like, I'm not trying to be no physics or chemist or anything like that, a doctor. I just want to get by so I can have a successful life.
And that class was not going to have us being successful, John. That class was bullshit.
God, man. Phipps, next time you come on, bro, we're just gonna have you. We're just gonna continue the story time with Phipps. Let's come up with a name.
I got you. Yeah, we gotta find a way to brand that.
Yeah,
I'm down.
we're gonna brand that.
I like that. That's a good note to wrap this week up with, man. That was crazy.
Well, hey, do you guys got anything else before we wrap it up here? John Connor, you got anything?
You're training people now, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. I almost forgot, bro.
Yeah, so my business is called Unbreakable Lifestyle. Follow us on Instagram at Unbreakable Lifestyle. Okay. Training athletes, training, doing personal training with the regular population. Just trying to help people transform, man, and helping athletes get a competitive edge. So, yeah.
There it is, man.
There it is. Yo, if anybody has a question or needs to get in contact with John Connor, how can they contact you?
At jconnor38, Twitter, Instagram. That's my social
There it
media.
is. If you guys got to get into any fitness or trying to get into shape, please get in touch with John Connor there, and we'll and show some love and support there. But
Unbreakable_lifestyle.
there it is.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. All right. Well, John Connor, cannot thank you enough for coming on the show. Actually being the first NFL player to touch Anchor Down Cincinnati, so thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. That was cool.
Absolutely, man. You've been awesome. And Phipps, you know you're coming back soon. I mean,
yeah, I'm just a guy. I don't need to sign off. I'm just a guy that's here, man. It's all good.
Well,
Hey,
hey.
Chris, I think this your next calling, bro.
Hey, man, let's get it.
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
Hey, thank you guys so much. And if you guys, if anybody has any questions in regards to this podcast, any comments, anything, show some love, at anchordowncincy at gmail.com, and we'll get you on the show if you guys are interested on the show as well. So, again, thank you, too, for coming on. You guys have been seriously freaking awesome. So,
I appreciate it, man.
all right. Thanks, guys.
All right, take
That's
care.
it.
All right, folks, that wraps up Week 5 for Anchor Down Cincinnati, and it's under the belt. As usual, we're going to support our local businesses and keep that going. And if you ever have a local business that wants to be, and you want me to shout you guys out,
feel free to reach out to me. Like I said before, anchordowncincy with an I at gmail.com, and I'll gladly give you guys a shout out. But first, we actually have my guy Aaron Hatfield with Hatfield Logistics. And Hatfield Logistics is a local veteran owned by Aaron Hatfield, an independent freight broker providing shipping and transportation services locally, regionally, and nationally. Whether it's expedited freight and small shipments or full truckload, Hatfield Logistics can meet you where you are. Forget the corporate shuffle and dishonest or frustrated business practices. Aaron will give you honest advice and feedback, and you will always be able to reach him. Shop local and integrity first. Another OG of the show that we give a shout out to every week is Clint Kirsting with Triple Crown Wealth Management. And if you are ever looking for retirement guidance through this volatile market, reach out to Clint Kirsting at Triple Crown Wealth Management. You can reach him at his email, which is ckersting at tc-wealth.com. Anyway, folks, that's all we got for this week. We're coming back firing next week. We got another special guest, and I'll announce him on the Facebook page coming later this week. But other than that, thank you so much for anchoring down with me this week against Cincinnati. We'll see you next week.